Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
It's so good to be speaking with you once
And you
again.
as well.
And as you know, I'm obsessed with technology. And it's my
Obsessed.
greatest excitement.
Oh, all right.
And we, as a group, have been working on several of the things that you have proposed.
Oh, thank you very much. Are you having fun?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, all right.
It's
Then keep working.
absolutely intense fun.
Yes.
And so I have some questions about that and
Yes.
some also observations about some of the things that I've heard you say
Yes.
to sort of see if you have a reaction to that.
All right.
For example, your description of how magnets attract and repel from the little vortices of each of the crystal molecules. It's very, very similar to what has been proposed by our leader, whose name is Nassim Haramein.
Yes.
And you've experienced one of his crystals because we gave one to you at Conscious Life Expo.
You mean to the channel?
Yes, to the channel.
All right,
So
yes.
perhaps you have some experience with that.
Well, yes. So?
And we've seen photons being emitted from certain vortices from that tetrahedral crystal.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. What do you want me to say about it?
Just what do you think about those photons and where did they come from in a quartz crystal that's been energized by our resonator technology?
Well, they're stepped down from higher frequency dimensions and translated into observable photonic energy in your dimension.
Okay.
Because the vortices and the crystals have that effect. They act as step-down transformers for a number of different frequencies of energies, but you won't know that unless they present you in your reality with some interpretation of those energies in a form that you can perceive and understand.
Right. Well, we don't completely understand it, but we see
All
them
right,
with our
that you have the
instruments.
potential to understand.
Thank you. So, as in terms of the one of the questions I have is the consciousness that I want to have when I'm working with technology, of course, staying with the highest excitement
Yes.
and not being downturned by anything that I don't expect
Yes?
and all that. But are there special tools that you can suggest when working in a technology environment that might enhance?
A literal tool?
Well, you've suggested several tools that enhance the three rules that you've put forth, and I just wondered, in the specific area of technology, if there's anything that you can suggest.
Yes. I can suggest a tuning fork. Tuned to the vibration that feels best to you when you strike it. Working in that environment can enhance and focus your consciousness in profound ways. Will that do? Do you understand what we're saying?
Perhaps. I'm not sure whether I do.
All right. In other words, there are tuning forks that vibrate at certain resonances, certain frequencies,
I know
yes?
that, yeah.
All right. Well, find one that vibrates at a frequency that you feel puts you in the proper focal state to do the work you're talking about doing. And then let yourself have that vibration. It can be low in the background in the environment in which you're working. It can help focus you. Or you can do it at 15-minute intervals. Hit it, strike it, let it resonate. Let yourself identify with that state, that vibration, that frequency. Let yourself relax into it. Absorb it, feel it, contain it. Let it put you in that semi-hypnotic focal state, and then go back to doing the work. And if you need to do it at different intervals for you, then let your imagination be your guide. But that is actually a tool that can help focus you on certain frequencies that are germane for the work that you're doing.
Okay. I think that gives me something to try.
Oh, all right.
I wanted to ask also about we are considering, we already are starting to make the location sphere that you described. Where,
for that experiment, yes.
Right, and we have a material that we think will allow us to make an extremely thin but very perfect sphere to within, say, a 1/10 millimeter.
Okay, that's wonderful.
And
Congratulations.
is that close enough?
Yes.
And so nickel copper
Is fine.
sphere is
It's
fine.
fine.
That'll work.
Yes, especially as thin as you're making it.
Yes, it'll be like a 1/4 millimeter thick.
Yes.
Very, very thin.
Just make sure that your surface is also very, very flat on the table that you rest it on.
Okay. And so when we ping it with some either RF or acoustic,
Yes.
what kind of frequency should we be listening for?
Well, you'll find out when you take the reading of what the frequency is at the initial location. Then when you move it to the new location and take another reading, you'll find out what that frequency is if your equipment is sensitive enough to tell the difference in the frequencies between the two different locations. That's the whole point of the experiment.
No, I get that, but will it be, say, within 9 kilohertz and 5
I
gigahertz?
can't tell you that. It has too many variables in terms of what it is you're constructing. It will be determined by everything in the room. The table that it's on, the equipment you're using to ping it with, all sorts of things. So I can't tell you that. You'll find out when you take the recording, when you take the reading.
Okay. Well, we have very sensitive equipment
All right, well, we'll see
over a very wide...
how sensitive it is.
Okay.
And you'll get your reading, and then you'll know what the frequency is.
Well, we're going to be trying it within the next few weeks.
Congratulations.
Also, the space-time coil.
Yes.
So we've constructed one, 33 turns, 33
Yes.
degrees.
Yes.
The cone, the top peak of the cone and the base of the other cone are connected at one end but open on the other, so they're two, and it's made out of 1/8 inch copper tubing.
All right, so you're saying they are two interpenetrating coils, one up, one down, and they're connected at each end?
They're connected at one end. But
Why not the other?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Should they be connected at both ends?
Yes.
Okay.
One coil is the other coil.
So they must be connected at both ends.
Yes, or you don't have a complete circuit, do you?
No, of course
Thank
not.
you.
That's why I'm asking.
Yes.
Because
That was the original description.
my colleague who's actually doing the construction
Yes.
has made it that way with only one end connected.
Well, that's not the original description we gave.
Okay. That's what I thought. That's why I'm asking the question.
All right, well,
In order
now
to
I have answered it.
Instruct him to do it a little bit differently. So
Yes.
then how do we energize this coil?
You can attach an electrical source to it and give it a kickstart.
Okay. Where would you attach it?
On the coil. Anywhere, doesn't matter. Just give it a kickstart.
Well, if current's going to flow, it has to have two connections, right?
What I'm saying is you are creating an energy source. You're bringing an energy source, a battery, what have you. Yes?
Right. Okay.
And you are connecting the two leads to the coil at different places.
Okay. To the two coils that are essentially you have a short.
One up and
In
one
terms of
down.
DC.
One up and one down.
Right.
The coils are insulated, are they not?
No. It's just,
Well, we told you
bare
they
copper.
had to be.
oh, okay.
Therefore, if they're insulated, connecting the lead to one and the other will give it the kickstart it needs.
But you just said they were shorted to each other, the cone, the tip of the cone
I
and the
understand,
base.
but you're dealing with something different here than your normal technology. The very shape of the thing itself will cause a different phenomenon to happen.
Well, we can induce a current with an inductive field
Then do it that way.
because a battery, if it's insulated, wouldn't be connected.
Then do it that way. There are ways to do it with the battery, but if you have the ability to use an inductive field, then by all means do that.
We definitely do.
Then that would be more efficient.
Excellent.
Until you tell us what level you're at and what you're capable of doing, we have to start you at the basic level.
We're capable of a lot more than I have said.
All right, then use what you are most capable of, and that will take you farther.
We can do an inductive source. We could, I mean, if there's a bare spot on the copper, we can connect a battery.
All right, but again, you have already said that the inductive source is something you're capable of doing, and therefore it would be more efficient and allow you to experience the effects in a more efficient and larger, more measurable way.
And then how would you extract energy from this if it's...
We'll talk about that later when you first induce a current and see what effects you can measure from it.
Okay, so we should come back and report that to you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will do that.
Step at a time.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Okay. So, can you tell me anything? Can you give me a hint about spinning noble gas plasma?
I can talk about spinning noble gas plasma in a variety of ways, but a hint based on what and for what purpose? Because there are many purposes to spinning noble gas plasmas.
For either A, extracting energy, B, inducing healing effects from, say, argon, helium, neon, krypton, or xenon.
I understand what you're saying, but the technology that I'm familiar with would be beyond your technology. You actually don't have the technology to do what I could describe to you.
Well, describe it anyway, please.
All right. If you have a ovoid container, a torus, as it were, filled with noble gas plasma, and the container is an alloy of aluminum, boron, neodymium, nickel, copper, in a nanoglass matrix, suspended with double layer graphene, and you introduce the same kind of induction current that you were talking about before, but on a much, much more powerful level, you will create a radiant field, an electromagnetic field around the torus that can have many different kinds of effects depending upon other things that you would contain that torus in that would translate that energy for multiple purposes at multiple frequencies. Can you build one of those?
We can get pretty close to that.
Let's see.
Well, it will take a while to do that.
Yes,
I
I
can
know.
tell you, but
that's what I was saying.
But the thing that I showed the channel, Darryl,
Yes.
earlier,
Yes.
is something of sort in that direction. It's a nanomaterial
Yes.
with layers of copper and nickel.
Yes, we understand, but it's nothing close to what we just described.
It can be infused with graphene, and we're working with graphene, by the way,
All right,
too.
all right.
And glass.
Tell me when you get to the nanoglass.
By nanoglass, what do you mean? Do you mean little beads of glass at the like 20 nanometers?
We mean that it is nanotechnology that is made of a type of glass that can change form and can absorb energies of certain quantities and certain resonances for specific purposes and shift as it needs to in real time to handle the fluctuations going on in the energy fields that you generate.
Fascinating.
It's a new form of containment,
Thank you.
a responsive real-time containment
Containment of what?
of the plasma.
Okay. I see.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
My first question is, can you expand on the mechanics behind narcissism?
Well, that's simple enough. You understand that certain negative beliefs that a person might hold about themselves will create a kind of feeling that you would call emptiness. And they will attempt to either fill the emptiness, but not necessarily with things that will actually allow them to feel fulfilled or connected to their self-empowerment. And therefore, at a certain point, they may go into denial that the emptiness is there. They may attempt to numb it out by overcompensating for their feelings of lack of self-worth with an exaggerated sense of their worth. hence the narcissistic reflection. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Yes, my next question is kind of silly.
Oh, all right. We love silly questions.
Is Lady Gaga connected to the hybridization agenda?
She is.
Can you elaborate on that?
I cannot.
Okay.
I would have to discuss that with the individual herself.
Right. What's an example of a permission slip you use on Essassani?
Our spaceships. We don't absolutely need them to travel around anymore, but we use them as permission slips so that we may arrive on other planets and other civilizations for whom the arrival of a spaceship is a little bit more acceptable than having us simply pop into their bedroom. So we use those permission slips.
Mm.
Anything else?
Yes. Are the Crystal Skull Masters connected to Draco?
There is more Draco energy connected to them than many of you know, and some of that information will be coming out in the near future.
Not
Yes.
now? Okay.
Not right now, no.
Okay, my next question is, what is the relationship between Ra and Tote?
Between Tote and
Ra? This is from
Ra.
my friend, yeah.
you are dealing in both cases with symbolic representations of ancient Anunnaki beings.
Can you elaborate on the actual beings?
Those responsible for the genetic hybridization that created Homo sapien, and those responsible in Tote for the education of same. Does that make sense to you? Ra overseeing the idea of one of the primary genetic programs that created Homo sapien, Tote overseeing the education of the created humans. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Why was that funny?
Well, because I was looking at my friend to see if it registered for him. Yeah, because I was asking for him.
Oh, all right. And so,
And that's it.
we thank you.
Love you, Bashar.
And you as well.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So, question for you, going back to the idea of frames.
Frames.
So, if I understand it correctly, it's our consciousness that moves between the realities.
No, it's
No?
the reality that moves through your consciousness. But you're projecting it as if you are moving through the reality.
Okay. So, you've talked before about if you want to manifest something, you can switch from frame to frame.
Yes, that's how you manifest.
That's how you're manifesting.
Yes, because you're creating a manifestation in a framework of space and time.
So, I was listening to an exercise that you had talked about before on a tape called Shifting Through Infinity.
Yes.
And in the exercise, what you do is you imagine a scene, you freeze it,
Yes.
and then you start to move through it, look at the frames, and then start to click them forward.
Yes.
And so I was doing this exercise, and after it was over, I noticed a couple of things.
Yes.
One of the things is I looked at my watch, and I said to myself, I could create a frame where I have a completely different watch on my hand.
Yes.
But then I noticed that my beliefs kind of kicked in saying, that's not in the line of procession. There's no progress in that. Having a completely different watch on your hand would break the cause and effect.
All
And
right.
then I realized-
Now, one moment. One moment. Understand that there is potentially a difference between recognizing that as a belief and also recognizing that as simply irrelevant for your life path.
Okay.
You need to determine which it actually is.
It's just not relevant.
There you go.
I mean, I don't need another watch, but
All right.
what it kicked up was the whole idea of just having completely different frames, and if you like, well, this is what I'm really getting at. Is cause and effect a belief?
Cause and effect is a space-time way of understanding that things are connected.
Okay. But if you're flicking through the frames, it is cause and belief.
Cause and effect is a space-time illusion of separation to let you know that you're just looking at one thing that simply exists in both states.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes. So with cause and effect, they're essentially two states that are just separate from each other.
That have been made to appear separate, yes. Okay. And you can actually even use an effect to create a cause. This is what we're talking about.
Yes. Okay.
When we say that you zero out every moment, you're a new person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you truly understand that you're a new person, that has to mean you have a new history. Mm-hmm. Because from a space-time perspective, the logic of it in a space-time framework is to be the person that you are now, you must have had a different history than was there before in order for that history to have made you who you are now. So you're creating an effect and creating a cause to go with that effect.
A matching cause.
A matching cause.
Okay. Okay.
So that's what you're doing all the time in the idea of zeroing out and redefining yourself, is you're creating the effect and then the cause comes with it. It has to.
Okay. So in terms of, say, a practical application of this.
That wasn't a practical one?
Well, I really want to kind of get it into my system, so to speak. So say, for example,
right.
You had like a bodily injury, like Darryl has a damaged finger. Say if you had a cut or something like that. Can you skip a lot of what we would call the healing frames?
If it is relevant for you to do so, yes. But it may not always be relevant. You may desire on some level, or at least believe on some level, that you require a certain process that uses time and change in order to develop a deeper appreciation of what the lesson is within that experience.
Okay.
So yes, it can be done. Will it be done? Depends on many different factors in different people for why they have created it to begin with.
Okay. And similarly, could you apply this whole idea, this notion to, for example, speeding up the period of time, like it might take you to learn a language or to learn an instrument or something like that?
Yes. You can just know it. If it is relevant for you to do so, you can just know it because you have become the version of you that already knows it. This is what you see in the example that we have mentioned before, that many of you are already familiar with, of the idea of medical differences in multiple personalities within one body.
Right.
One personality might have a particular medical condition. The other personality doesn't. There's no time there. There's no shifting of process there. There is simply, it is here, then it is not. Because these are two different people, literally. Mm-hmm. So yes, you can do that. But is it relevant is always the question. Not is it possible? Of course it's possible. Is it relevant? Is it probable for you? That's the question.
Okay.
So, like the watch issue, you realized that wasn't necessarily a relevant experience for you, but at least it gave you an understanding to some degree that it might be something that could be in a different context or with a different thing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's at least giving you an opportunity to explore that concept. Or it's telling you, watch what you wish for.
Very funny. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You are very welcome.